Have you ever thought that what's in your cup might be more dangerous than it seems? Every day, millions of people consume drinks that appear harmless, even healthy, but are silently destroying their kidneys. And the worst part, they're right there in your home, in your routine. But don't worry, the idea here is not to scare you. It's to open your eyes. When you understand what's behind these drinks, it becomes easier to protect yourself and make better choices. If this made sense to you, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like. This helps spread this message to those who need it most. Soda, the refreshing enemy that's destroying your kidneys. Few things are as common as cracking open a cold can of soda after a tiring day. For many people, it's a comforting ritual. It seems harmless, right? After all, it's just a bubbly, sweet-tasting drink. But what's behind this seemingly simple habit is a direct and profound impact on your kidneys, silent but vital organs that work tirelessly to keep your body clean and balanced. The problem is that they don't scream when they're suffering. They just gradually fail. And soda, both regular and diet, is one of the biggest villains in this process. Regular soda is loaded with sugar. A single can contain up to 40 grams of sugar, the equivalent of 10 teaspoons. Now imagine consuming that every day, multiple times a day. Your kidneys are responsible for filtering the excess glucose from your blood, and when there's an overload, the oxidative stress increases. This generates inflammation and, over time, damages the blood vessels in the kidneys, leading to a gradual loss of renal function. People over 40 are at an even greater risk, especially if they already have high blood pressure, prediabetes, or a family history of kidney disease. But what about diet soda? Since it doesn't have sugar, is it safe? Unfortunately, no. What it lacks in sugar, it makes up for in artificial sweeteners and chemicals that also overload the kidneys. Studies show that regular consumption of diet sodas is associated with a higher incidence of chronic kidney disease. Aspartame, sucralose, and other synthetic sweeteners can alter the gut microbiome and, over time, silently affect kidney function. Additionally, the excessively sweet taste of these diet products tricks the brain and metabolism, stimulating appetite and promoting weight gain. Another risk factor for kidney disease. Another critical point is the phosphoric acid present in many sodas, especially colas. This compound alters the body's calcium balance, which can lead to the formation of kidney stones. Yes, those intense pains that many describe as worse than childbirth can be the result of continuous consumption of a beverage as common as soda. And what's more, excess phosphorus also impairs kidney function, especially in people who already have some level of renal impairment. Now think, how much soda do you consume per week? Maybe not every day, but at parties, dinners, fast food restaurants, or even as a treat during work. This seemingly sporadic consumption adds up, creating a cumulative effect. The body feels it, the kidneys feel it. And when the symptoms appear, leg swelling, fatigue, high blood pressure, there is often already advanced damage. The problem is that the body has an incredible ability to adapt. It will compensate until it can't anymore. A study from Osaka University in Japan followed more than 12,000 people and found that frequent soda consumption was directly linked to a higher risk of developing proteinuria, a condition where important proteins are eliminated through the urine, one of the first signs that the kidneys are failing. The scariest part? The participants did not initially show severe symptoms. Everything happened silently, as is often the case with kidney disease. In the United States, the number of adults with chronic kidney disease exceeds 37 million. Many of them don't even know it until the situation worsens. Among the most common contributing factors is the excessive consumption of sugary beverages, especially sodas. This shows that the problem is not distant or rare. It can be right next to you, in the form of a cold can on the living room table, or in the 2-liter bottle that accompanies the Sunday dinner. Replacing soda may seem difficult at first, especially if it has been part of your routine for many years. But small swaps can generate big results. Try natural fruit infusions, sparkling water with lemon, or even homemade iced teas without sugar. The idea is not to make your life bland, but to free your kidneys from a toxic load that accumulates with every sip. Your body will thank you and your energy will change. If you feel the urge to drink soda every day, it may also indicate a degree of dependence on the sugar or caffeine present in these beverages. This type of addiction, even if mild, requires attention. The good news is that a gradual reduction with smart substitutions can eliminate this desire in just a few weeks. And the positive impact on your kidney health begins almost immediately. Energy drinks. The energy explosion that's burning your kidneys from within. They promise energy, focus, performance. They're present at gas stations, supermarkets, gyms, and often in your own cupboard. Energy drinks have become a part of the daily routine for many adults, and not just the young. People over 40 who face long workdays, poor sleep, or simply feel a lack of drive end up turning to these colorful cans in search of a boost. But what few people know is that behind this promise of energy, there is a silent and dangerous cost. Your kidneys are paying the bill. The caffeine, the main ingredient in these drinks, is a potent diuretic. This means that it stimulates the elimination of water by the kidneys, leading to dehydration. And here's the hidden danger. When the body loses excess fluids and is not properly rehydrated, the blood volume decreases, reducing the amount of blood reaching the kidneys. With less blood to filter, the kidneys begin to suffer. In the long run, this can cause serious and even irreversible damage. Many adults mistake this process for simple fatigue or mild dehydration, unaware that kidney damage is already happening silently. Another critical point is the high sugar content present in most of these drinks. Some cans can contain more than 50 grams of sugar, which rapidly elevates blood glucose levels. For those over 40, this sudden spike is especially dangerous, as metabolism tends to slow down and insulin resistance tends to increase. The result? An overload for the kidneys, which need to filter this excess glucose, promoting inflammation and worsening renal function over time. But it's not just the sugars that are harmful. The zero-sugar versions of these drinks contain artificial sweeteners that, as we discussed earlier, also negatively affect the kidneys. Another dangerous component is taurine, an amino acid that, in excess and combined with other stimulants, can alter cardiovascular function and increase blood pressure. This directly affects the kidneys, which depend on stable pressure to filter blood effectively. When the pressure rises too much or fluctuates suddenly, the small filters within the kidneys suffer microlesions. The repetition of this process over time contributes to the development of chronic kidney disease. And if you think this only happens with those who consume large quantities, know that even 1 can per day, consumed regularly, can be enough to have an impact. Remember, the kidneys do not regenerate easily. The accumulated damage does not disappear. It manifests slowly with subtle signs, such as swollen ankles, constant fatigue, the urge to urinate at night, or high blood pressure. Many people only realize something is wrong when their kidney function is already compromised by more than 50%. You can start the change today. Reducing or eliminating energy drinks from your routine may be the first step to protecting your kidneys, your blood pressure, and your heart. Artificial juice. The false healthy that's slowly poisoning your kidneys. How many times have you chosen a boxed juice, thinking you were making a better choice than soda? The label shows a juicy fruit, phrases like rich in vitamins, no preservatives, or even made with real fruit. It seems healthy, doesn't it? But the truth is quite different, and much more worrying. Artificial juice is often just as harmful as soda, and in some cases even worse, especially for the kidneys, which are directly affected by the excess of sugar, coloring, additives, and acidity in these drinks. Let's start by understanding what artificial juice really is. It has almost no real fruit. What you'll find in most packages is water, lots of sugar, coloring, flavorings, and preservatives. Even those that claim to contain 10% juice or nectar are in practice highly processed beverages. They deliver very few actual nutrients and demand too much from the kidneys, which need to filter all these chemical excesses to protect the body. And as we already know, the kidneys can't sustain this overload for long. Many of these products are just disguised versions of artificial juices. Even when they come in cleaner-looking packaging or carry seals like organic, caution is needed. If they have a long shelf life, are not refrigerated, and weren't made fresh, they likely contain additives, preservatives, and a sugar or sweetener load that harms the kidneys in the same way. The trap of artificial juice is precisely its appearance of harmlessness. Unlike soda, which is already seen as unhealthy by many, juice still has a health halo. It's offered to children, present at hotel breakfasts, in cafeterias, and even in poorly guided weight loss diets. But if you truly want to protect your kidneys and your health as a whole, you need to look at this beverage with different eyes. Because unlike the fruit, the industrialized juice does not nourish. It overloads. Want a practical example? Replace the box juice with naturally flavored water. You can use slices of lemon, orange, strawberry, mint, or cucumber. Let it chill in the fridge for a few hours and have a refreshing, tasty, and kidney-friendly drink. Another idea is to make your own fresh juices at home, but with a full serving of fruit and lots of water without sweetening. This reduces the glycemic load and still maintains the fiber, which is essential for balancing blood sugar. And now that we've discussed artificial juice, let's dive into another common and dangerous habit: excessive alcohol consumption. Excessive alcohol, the disguised relaxation villain that's silently killing your kidneys. The kidneys have a vital function: to filter the blood, remove toxins, and maintain the balance of fluids and minerals in the body. When you consume alcohol, it is rapidly absorbed into the bloodstream and begins to circulate throughout the body, including the kidneys. And that's where the problem starts. Alcohol acts as a potent diuretic, meaning it stimulates the body to eliminate more water than it should. And that's not all. Alcohol has a direct impact on the liver, and the liver in turn is closely connected to the kidneys. When the liver starts to accumulate fat or develop inflammation, which is common with regular alcohol consumption, it fails to perform its functions efficiently. This directly affects the kidneys, which need to compensate for what the liver can no longer do. It's like one employee in a company starts leaving part of the work for the other, and the second, overloaded, starts to fail as well. And as if that weren't enough, alcohol also potentiates the effect of common medications that many people take regularly. If you take medication for blood pressure, diabetes, or cholesterol, be aware that alcohol can interfere with the action of these substances, causing the kidneys to have to work even harder to compensate for these imbalances. In the long run, this creates a cycle of internal stress that silently undermines your health. This is not about demonizing alcohol. The issue here is to understand that, after a certain age, the body changes, and the kidneys feel these changes with force. If you could previously drink a few drinks and recover the next day, today the impact can be much greater and more lasting. Alcohol is no longer metabolized as efficiently, and the damage, once temporary, begins to accumulate. This is why so many people develop silent diseases at this stage of life, even while maintaining seemingly normal habits. Now let's talk about practice. Want to reduce alcohol without suffering? Start by replacing some drinks with alternative beverages. Try non-alcoholic drinks. Have these options on hand, especially at social gatherings. This prevents you from drinking out of habit and allows your body to gradually detoxify. And believe me, in just a few days you'll feel the difference in energy, sleep, and even physical stamina. Industrialized teas, the drink that dresses up as healthy, but can sabotage your kidneys. When someone decides to stop drinking soda, the first alternative that usually comes up is industrialized tea. It's everywhere: supermarkets, convenience stores, vending machines. It has a light appearance and often comes with phrases like "made with green tea," "no preservatives," or low in calories. It seems like the perfect choice, right? But unfortunately, that's where the danger lies. Industrialized tea is a beverage that hides behind the healthy reputation of natural tea, but conceals ingredients that wreak real havoc on your kidneys. To preserve the product and maintain the flavor, manufacturers use citric acid and other artificial acidifiers. This makes the beverage more acidic than it appears, and with frequent consumption, it can irritate the urinary tract, impair digestion, and compromise the blood's pH balance, something the kidneys work hard to maintain. In other words, in addition to the excess sugar and additives, you're also adding acidity to your system, creating a constant state of stress for the kidneys. Another factor that is deceiving is the light, refreshing appearance of these teas. Many people consume them throughout the day as if they were water. They carry a bottle to work, drink it during the commute, have it with lunch, and don't even realize they're ingesting an absurd amount of sugars, additives, and stimulants in the name of hydration. But this doesn't hydrate, it intoxicates. The kidneys need pure water to function well, not liquids that bring a hidden package of toxic ingredients. Want a practical example? Take an industrialized tea and compare it to a homemade natural tea. Make a hibiscus or chamomile tea, let it cool, add some lemon or orange slices, and refrigerate. No sugar. The difference in taste may seem subtle at first, but the impact on your body is immense. You're consuming an anti-inflammatory, natural diuretic beverage that helps the kidneys, instead of harming them. Many people have difficulty giving up the habit of industrialized tea because it has become part of their routine. But the change can be gradual. One positive aspect of homemade tea is that you can use herbs with medicinal properties. Tea made from horsetail, dandelion, parsley, and even hibiscus are known to support kidney function. When prepared correctly, without sugar and in moderation, these teas not only prevent damage, but also aid in the detoxification of the kidneys, something that few beverages are able to do with such efficiency. Sweetened coffee, the daily pleasure that may be silently eroding your kidneys. Who doesn't love a good cup of coffee, right? That mug first thing in the morning, or in the middle of the afternoon, is a sacred ritual for millions of people. And in fact, coffee on its own has its qualities. It's rich in antioxidants, can improve concentration, and give that little energy boost. But here's the alert. When coffee is accompanied by sugar, especially in large quantities, it stops being an ally and becomes a dangerous enemy for your kidneys. And most people don't realize this until it's too late. Have you noticed how coffee can seem addictive? Many people experience headaches, irritability, or fatigue when trying to cut back. This happens because the body adapts to the stimulation of caffeine and sugar. This dependence behavior is an important warning sign. Anything the body needs to function is actually taking more than it's giving. And the kidneys, as they are always filtering the blood, are directly affected by this chemical roller coaster. Another little discuss point: the habit of drinking sweetened coffee on an empty stomach. Many people wake up and go straight to the coffee maker, without eating anything beforehand. This puts the digestive system and kidneys under stress, especially when the coffee is loaded with sugar. On an empty stomach, glucose absorption is faster, and the blood sugar spike is higher. This forces the kidneys to work more intensely in the first hours of the day, a pattern that, repeated for years, contributes to the premature deterioration of renal function. Now, if you like coffee and want to continue consuming it safely, the good news is that it is possible. Start by trying unsweetened coffee. At first it may seem bitter, but your palate will adapt. Another option is to gradually reduce. If you use 2 spoonfuls, switch to 1, then half a spoonful, and then none. You can also add spices like cinnamon or cardamom, which add flavor and offer antioxidant benefits without overloading your kidneys. For those who find it very difficult, a good alternative are decaffeinated coffees or less roasted coffee beans, which are milder and less aggressive. Additionally, Alternating coffee consumption with glasses of pure water helps maintain hydration and protect the kidneys against the diuretic effects of caffeine. Remember that the problem is not the coffee itself, but rather what you put in it, how often you consume it, and what it represents in your routine. Used in moderation and without sugar, coffee can even be beneficial. But sweetened daily, it becomes a gateway to serious kidney problems. Supermarket-ready smoothies, the healthy disguise that may be destroying your kidneys. Smoothie. Just hearing this word, something healthy, refreshing, full of fruits, energy, and vitality comes to mind. And that's exactly how ready-made smoothies are marketed. Most industrialized smoothies have more sugar than soda. That's right. While you believe you're drinking something natural and nutritious, you're actually pouring an absurd amount of concentrated fructose, artificial syrups, and in many cases chemical additives into your body. If you like smoothies, the solution is simple. Make them at home, with fresh fruits, greens, a little chia or flaxseed, and no sugar. This way you maintain the fiber, natural antioxidants, and avoid the additives that harm the kidneys. Another important tip: don't replace meals with ready-made smoothies. They don't truly satisfy and still cause blood sugar spikes. Prefer to use them as an occasional complement and, again, homemade. Avoid those bought pre-made, even those that claim no sugar, because they usually have sweeteners or concentrated juices that cause the same damage. After learning about these seemingly harmless beverages that can, in fact, be overloading your kidneys, the most important thing now is to be aware. We're not here to say you need to cut everything out of your life or live in a bubble. Each person has their own tastes, habits, and moments of pleasure. And it's okay to enjoy a sweet coffee, a chilled smoothie, or a ready-made tea in the rush of the daily routine. The issue is not about eliminating. The issue is knowing what you're putting in your body. When you understand the effects behind these products, it becomes much easier to balance your choices. And of course, each body is unique. If you have any health conditions, it's always worth talking to a professional to understand what works best in your case. Now, if you want to take an extra step in your daily care, I've prepared something special. If you already enjoy my tips, you're going to love the 30-day ebook. I created it with so much care, with 30 natural teas to boost your energy and accelerate your metabolism. And there's more. You'll also get 12 exclusive recipes, perfect to complement the teas and take care of your health, all made just for you. If you're ready to transform your health in a simple, natural way, the link is in the pinned comment below. Don't miss this chance to take care of yourself. And if this content has helped you in any way, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and leave a like. This really helps so more people receive this information that can transform lives. And if you want to continue caring for yourself from the inside out, watch now the video. 7 natural foods that will make you look 10 years younger. There you'll discover simple, natural foods that help with skin regeneration, hair luster, daily energy, and best of all in a light and accessible way for any age. Just click here next to the video. I'll see you there.